Sweet.
Okay, welcome back. And this is going to be our third installment of the Pop Culture Cafe. And I am here with my co host, Mr. Clint Heiberger. What's up, brother?
What's going on there, Will? I think we should really take some time out to, first of all, before we get into everything, is prayers for Scott Hall.
Yes.
Speedy recovery.
Yes. Yes. I heard about Scott this morning, and I was a little shocked by it actually. I mean, I thought, like I had text you back and I said, man, I thought, he had hip replacement, and you told me it was they found some blood clots and whatever.
3 heart attacks.
That's kind of thrown by it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I mean, he's a strong guy.
Yeah. And when I met him in Chicago, he was just, he seemed like he was sober and everything. And, like he was really getting his life back on track. And, prayers to Scott. Speedy recovery, man.
Absolutely. Speedy recovery, man. We love you on this show, man.
Yep.
And we wanted to eventually get you and Kevin on. So, whenever you're going across YouTube and you come across this channel, we care, man.
Yeah.
We definitely care, man. We care about all of our brothers of the ring. I am a former wrestler and whatnot. And, anytime that something happens to a brother in, from the ring, whether he is active or retired, it doesn't matter,
Right.
I mean, because we're all in this thing, man. We're all in this thing, and prayers to you, brother, and get well, man. Get well.
And that's the thing. A lot of people don't, they say, "Oh, wrestling's not real," this and that. It's like, okay, I've watched wrestling since I was a kid. It's like when a wrestler dies or wrestlers, it's no different than a basketball player, a football player. We care, we care about these people, and
right, absolutely.
We shed tears.
They come into your homes every week, and things like that, and it's almost like they become part of your family. So
exactly, and prayers to Scott. Hopefully, he gets through this.
All right. So, all week I've been trying to edit the original third episode, and it's been quite an undertaking. I mean, and everything was done right, but I feel that everything happens for a reason. So
right.
I didn't want to sit up and play with this thing, and go, hey, Clint, I'm still having problems with this thing, and all that stuff. So I said, you know what? Fuck this shit, man. We're gonna go on live.
Live as live can be.
We are gonna go on live from the screening room.
Yep.
Okay, from the screening room. Because I created the screening room to screen all indie projects, not just mine, but yours. Once we get yours going, and by the way, I was going to send you something last night that I was working on, and it is a open casting call.
Nice. Okay.
For Blind Faith, and a project that I've been trying to get filmed for the last 5 years. One room.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I have been trying to get this. I've been trying to get this recorded for 5 years, and and I don't know what it is, man. It's like I got the actress to do it. She agreed to do it, and then it's like we couldn't find a location, and she was still on tap. And then that's why we ended up doing Till We Meet Again. And then it was like I couldn't get her back, to do Until We Meet Again. And I mean, these things happen, man. These things happen. You've experienced it yourself.
Yeah, like a couple years ago, when I filmed a couple scenes for Blind Faith originally, and what happened, I don't know. She told me that she was having nightmares about hell and the devil because, once you read the script, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But
right,
it
Well, I mean, I read part of it. I mean,
Yeah.
I read a portion of it.
Yeah, and it's like, I couldn't prove that she was, pulling my leg or they just didn't want to do it anymore. It was frustrating, and I'm like, there's nothing else I could done about it. I offered to pay them what they, for their work and everything, and she's like, no, you don't got to pay us nothing. And I was like, well, and that's the thing, like, if you're going to work on doing a project for me, I'm willing to throw money at you. That's the, the key thing right there, and make it worth their while. You know what I mean? It just,
right.
But it is what it is. It happened. I'm going to keep going forward with it. I think it's a well done. I think it'd be a fitting tribute to who it's inspired by, and I think it'd be a kick-ass flick. You know what I mean?
Oh, right. I mean, it's inspired by the legendary Willie Johnson,
Robert Johnson.
Legend has it that he was down and out in his career, and he needed to become better.
Yeah.
At what he was doing, being a musician. So, legend has it he went out and made a deal with Satan.
Mm-hmm.
To give him the talent,
guitar playing power. Yeah,
the guitar playing talent.
Yeah, he got on his knees and handed his guitar to the devil. Devil tuned it. Said, "Once you get this guitar back, your soul's mine." It's like,
right.
Yeah, that's. Do I think he was hesitant? Possibly, but I think with Robert Johnson, it's. I read this script, or I was starting to watch stuff on him, and I was like, I could really make something out of this,
Yeah, oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. It's a great story.
Yeah, and I'm like, wow, and they say he was the seed for rock and roll, you know what I mean? And right. I was just like, everything makes sense. That's the thing now. And I'm like, wow, it really does, rock and roll is supposed to be incorporated with the devil, and the devil with Robert Johnson. It makes a lot of sense.
Okay. So, here, the reason that I wanted to do this live stream today, like I said, I've been trying to upload the shoot that we did.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and we got whatever we wanted out of our systems, and I really, really hate that this thing didn't upload the way that I wanted. But eventually it will. But I wanted the people out there to know why we did that particular shoot, so to speak.
Yeah.
Because we found that there were a lot of things wrong. Okay. Now, you and I attended these events, and I really even hate to use their name.
Yeah. Give them any notoriety.
Me off to the degree that I don't think their name should really even pop up. And if I can, I'm gonna really try my best to really avoid even mentioning these fuckers.
Yeah. And it's like we both have axes to grind. It's like we don't want to give them any
more power than they've already had. I mean, to really say the truth about it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so I don't know. I'm sorry, man. Go ahead.
Oh no, I can't even remember where I was going.
I'm trying to really get my thoughts together because
it's been a weird Sunday. Let's put it that way. Weather's nice. It's I mean, well, my story with that group, I say, because I have with the G, I almost caught myself. Sorry, man. Like when you are a filmmaker, it doesn't matter if you're like filmmaker, if you're into pro wrestling, anything. It doesn't matter. You want to reach your goal. You want to reach your dreams. So I filmed an intro, And there was a group in Dubuque that, they had meetings, and these people were very good to me. They were. But 2 people I had the problems with. Okay.
Right.
So we talked, and then there was a guy by the name, because he's a really great guy. He really is. His name is John Swift.
Oh, right. We talked about John Swift.
Yeah. Yep. He's like, I showed him my intro. I was like, hey, what do you think of that? And he's like, can I actually show that on the big screen at Mindframe? I'm like, yeah. So that Saturday, that week I was there, I was working, and I got there. The sweat started going because I was nervous, because I was excited. I was like, oh man, I was like Leonard when he went out on that first date with Penny. That's how bad I was sweating.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, on Big Bang Theory. But then I got there and I'm like, and then they started doing people's project, and then they showed mine, and I'm like, oh boy, here we go. Like, you like that nervous kid asking the popular girl to the prom. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay.
I was nervous, and I'm like, okay. I closed my eyes. I was like, well, here we go. People are gonna like it or they're gonna hate it. Well, they played my intro, and everybody's kind of like, they're just watching. I'm like, oh, this is awesome, But then I heard 2 people on the side doing the little high school laughing.
Oh, shit.
Laughing. What? And I just wanted to stand up and scream, why are you laughing? Something I worked hard on? You want to laugh at me about? And I was so mad. The meeting was over. I go down. A person came up to me, and I'm gritting my teeth. My fists are clenched. I'm mad. Like, I worked so hard on this, and 2 people laughed at me. The other people in the group, they were very nice to me. They were very good about it, and I respect those people. But this person came up. She's like, I hope that inspires you to keep going. And I'm like, thank you. And I told her, I appreciate it, and I really do.
Well, the woman that you mentioned that inspired you to keep going, for those that are probably watching, now we can name drop her because she's one of the coolest people I've ever met. Yeah,
she's really, really nice.
Right. Susie Wright.
Yeah.
Was very, she was very cool to me.
Yes.
And I knew she was very cool to you.
Yeah.
And even when we showed up at the Winter Film Series, she was still cool as hell.
Yeah. And she looked at me like she recognized me, but she didn't remember my name or whatever. It was been a few years since she saw me. But she walked up and she put her hand on my shoulder. She's like, that was really good, Clint. She's like, I don't watch horror movies, but I'm like, I get it. And I get it. And she's like, I hope that just inspires you to keep going. And then I waited for John. John came out at like 10 minutes later. And I'm like, I'm still just pissed. Okay. Somebody's laughing at something I'm passionate about and I worked hard on. He comes out. He's like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, can I talk to you for a minute? And he's like, yeah. I was like, what's up? And I said, I'm done. He's like, what do you mean you're done? I'm like, I'm done with these meetings. I won't come back. He's like, why? And I said, and I told him, I was like, well, did you hear the laughing on the side? He's closed eyes, looked at me, and he says, yeah. He's like, a lot of people here don't like him. And he's like, we've had a lot of problems with him. And I was like, John, I told him, I was like, I respect you. He's actually taught me a lot about filmmaking as well. He taught me a lot. And he's just like, well, if you want to come back, he's like, I'm like, no, I'm not coming back. I was like, I'd like to meet with you one-on-one sometimes, but I'm not going to deal with those people. Those 2. Everybody else was cool. Like I said, I love Susie. She was awesome. John, he was great. And not a lot of people, when they showed my intro, they weren't, Steve Thorgensen.
Man, Steve, that's my boy, man. Because remember, we had went to sit at the Winter Film Series. We had went to sit. Yeah. Now, we had met Steve in the lobby.
Yes.
Okay, in the lobby of the Julian Dubuque Hotel.
Yep.
And
he was another one.
I didn't expect him to be there. And I hadn't seen Steve, from that point since I had a discussion with him and his partner, his business partner from Mindframe,
Right.
about
Grant.
showing the midnight showing of Enter the Dragon, and they
Right.
did it. You know, and it was one of the last movies I seen at Mindframe, which I was grateful for, because I hadn't seen that movie on
that
the
was
screen
Grant,
like
wasn't
in
it?
30 years.
Right. That was Grant, wasn't it?
Yeah,
His
Grant.
business?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
Grant.
was
Yeah, okay.
it was Stephen Grant. And actually, I had talked to them about this when, I guess, the local station here, I'm not gonna name the station.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah, I'm not gonna name the station because no, they're not gonna get any press off of our time. So fuck them.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
like,
you know,
at Mindframe,
was on a boat, huh?
Oh, at Mindframe, they showed after George Romero died. One of the last movies I saw there was the original Night of the Living Dead from George Romero. That was a couple days after he died. And
okay.
Of course, me, being the Night of the Living Dead nut I am for the original one, I'm gonna go see it in the theater. You know,
absolutely. I mean, because you didn't get that experience a long time ago, so you want to go and get that experience.
Yeah,
I mean, that's how I felt about Enter the Dragon.
Yeah, I was very grateful because and I was watching it like, man, because it's a movie I always watch on Halloween, always,
Right.
And I was very grateful that Mindframe had it and they played it. I'm like, this is awesome, and I literally had no problems with anybody from the meetings, but I haven't talked to John in years. I don't know what happened to him. His Facebook is not there anymore. I don't know what the story is, but John, have you ever come across this? Thank you so much. Much respect, dude. I'd love to hang out with you again. I know you had a kid and everything, but I'd love to hang out with you and just talk to you what I'm doing right now and what Will and myself are trying to do with Dragon Whip.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I'll say it like this, man. When we initially, when you initially told your story, when we did this last weekend and you told your story,
yep.
I was really thrown back by it because I'm like, okay, here it is in this small town. Okay, in this small place. This is not in any way a big city like, let's say, Chicago or anything like that. But you would think that in a city like this, that the powers that be would be, more in tune to give opportunities.
Yes.
They would give those opportunities. But what I say is, fuck them and their opportunities. Because here's the thing, man, you got your gatekeepers here. And look at how some of them tried to lock you out.
Yep. And it's funny because sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, bro.
Oh, no. It's funny because there's a big production company in Dubuque here. I'm not going to throw names there, but I had a meeting with this director from in the production company, and he was so arrogant, and I was like, who the fuck is this dude? And he's like, the one thing I almost got up when I walked out, and he says, because you got to remember, I'm in a place in my life where I'm in a good spot, and
you're in a good place in your life, yeah,
and he's like. And he's talking to me about this, and I was like, well, can I see some of the... And then we're talking about, like, this and that with movies. He says, well, the one thing he said to me, I literally got up and walked out. He says, well, audio is 50% of your movie. What?
Oh, he was talking down to you like you were stupid?
Yeah. And I'm like, everybody knows that. And I said that, and he's kind of like... And I was like, what? Did you really just say that to me? Like... Don't talk down to me, dude. Seriously. And then he did his little, and I'm not being bitter, but I got extra time with certain people that I had talked to about doing Blind Faith. I was kind of recruiting. I was like, hey, I'm doing this movie. You want to be a part of it? I can throw money at you, blah, blah, blah. And then people are like, oh, I got to talk to my band. Oh, I got to talk to my band. Oh, talk to your band. And these are people I thought were actually friends and that were cool. So a couple days later, you get a Facebook message. Oh, we can't do it. Scheduling. Cool.
Okay.
Whatever. Get another message. Oh, well, we can't do it. It doesn't fit our bill. Okay. Then I find out, fast forward, let's fast forward a couple months later during this movie. Find out that they're actually performing in this movie. That is so shady, in my opinion.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. But those people, I even unfriended, and I'm like, I'm done with you guys. You know, maybe it was immature to unfriend them or whatever. I don't care. I just get out of my life. That's all I'm going to say. But now that I'm part of Dragon Whip, I have a really great feeling about this. Perfect feeling.
Well, you know what? So before we wrap up on your story,
yeah.
I would just tell the people out there how this association became a thing. You know, I mean, like how we, I mean, it was a chance meeting.
Oh, with you and me, yeah.
Yeah, it was a chance meeting.
Okay, so I was like, I was like, screw it. It was during the what's going on in the world, and I remember you said you're like, I was running pumping gas, and you're like, shit, I forgot my mask. I'm like, gotta love this.
Sure did. Yep.
And then I read your license plate or something, and I said something about filmmakers. I'm like, dude, like you went in to pay, and I was like, I gotta talk to this guy real quick. So then
all my friends are filmmakers. Yeah, that was what was on my plate.
And then I was like, dude, we got to talk, filmmaking. And that was just a chance meeting. And it's like, wow, like you said, things happen for a reason. And I was like, I have an opportunity here. I'm going to take it. I'm going to roll with it. And we're going to get Blind Faith filmed. And it was just that one day. And I'm glad I did, because it's like, wow, like at a gas station of all places in Dubuque. It was like,
yeah,
of all things. But it was a blessing in disguise,
Okay. Yeah. So, what is your bottom line and the whole fucking dude, be as honest as you want to be, because we're grown folks here, man.
We are. We're all adults. But it's like those people, the director, the two crew people. Then you know what? After this, officially, they will no longer be a memory.
Absolutely.
They're not even the gum on the bottom of my shoe. Fuck them. Okay.
Absolutely.
It's like this. After this is out, because in our last one when we did the shoot, and now I'm getting all this off my chest. I feel so much better. It's like, you know what? You're not even a memory. You don't even live rent free in my head. Piss off. The only thing I can say is I'm like, they'll be here, and we're moving forward. We're going to the future,
Oh, absolutely.
And Dragon Whip, we're going to rule it. We are.
Absolutely, man.
Like,
yeah,
Will Martell, this man believes in me. I believe in him. We'll go to war for each other.
Damn right.
Flat out.
This is how the brotherhood started, man.
Exactly.
The brotherhood started basically that day at the gas station.
Yep.
And like I told you when you showed me that clip that you did that was in your phone, and you showed Kevin Smith.
Yep.
That right there proved to me right there that this is something you dreamed about your entire life.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
As a matter, like I just told you, putting together a clip before we started here.
Oh, right.
Yeah, which I'm really excited to show you. Like, let's put it that way. I think you're gonna like this one.
Okay. Okay.
Because remember that idea I was telling you about? It has something to do with that. And I did a Mike voice. I can't even talk today. Typical Sunday, but a Mike voiceover during the clip, which I think, yeah, it's.
Okay. You got to send that to me so I can watch it.
I definitely will. Yeah, but me and this man, we're gonna go to war for each other, and that's how it is.
We got this shit, man.
It's like the Outsiders. Either you're with us or you're against us.
Oh, absolutely, and that's kind of how I feel. I feel that in this town of Dubuque. Now, I didn't grow up here. I have known very few people here, especially initially when I moved here.
Right.
After, and I hate to even give this more power, but I want to set this up for the people watching.
No.
There was a relationship I had, and that relationship didn't work out. And I just want, to clear that up. Like, that wasn't my choice. That was the other person's choice.
Oh, is that
mine?
That's that person we're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So
right.
Same page. Yep.
Yeah. It wasn't my choice to end the relationship. It was hers. So it is what it is.
Correct.
And that's what brought me to Dubuque, because I never thought going back to Chicago was an option. I didn't think going back to Europe was an option. I didn't think going back anywhere was an option. That, hey, look, you have to play the ball where it lies. And I thought Dubuque was not a huge place. And I had heard things through certain people that I had known here in terms of the whole cliques and the politics and things like that go on in Dubuque, Iowa. I didn't have an idea about that particular thing until just recently. And that was that a certain film festival that I entered my project in, which, by the way, had won all over the entire damn world. I'm talking Germany, Amsterdam, Hong Kong, Australia. I mean, the list goes on and on. And I think at this point, it might have had won 13 awards, but I'm thinking maybe 13 to 16. The number is somewhere in between there. But anyhow, so you and I attend this event.
The gala.
Right. The God.
Yeah,
the gala.
Yeah, okay. That was a nightmare.
Yeah, what a joke, man.
Yeah.
What a joke. So we're sitting there, and I remember you saying to me, is this the best that they got? Because what we had seen was, one film was about slavery. The other film was about Civil War and slavery. And the third trailer was about Civil War and slavery.
The one clip they showed about the heist, and I'm like,
oh, the one that about the heist. Yeah, that one. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, yeah, that's all I can say about that gala. It's just
and like I've often apologized to you for even suggesting that we even attend that thing, which it costs $100.
Yeah.
$100, man. And we're sitting there. I mean, and if you can't give me any good, anything good to come out of it, at least give me some entertainment.
Yeah, there was the only entertaining part was I actually saw a real live auctioneer. Yeah, that's like the only entertaining part.
Oh,
Like,
right.
yeah,
And they
you
were
see
even
that in
selling
movies,
that.
but
They were even selling that stuff for like a higher price than it should
yeah,
have been.
I'm like, yeah, let me just piss out this, over close to $4,000. Why not? Use that. I mean, come on, that was ridiculous. But
I mean, the entire gala. I mean, I can definitely tell that the numbers had gone way down
uh,
than what it used to be. And you
no,
know what? I'm not gonna unveil a different personality. I'm not gonna get out here and change anything that I said towards this
well,
film festival or people associated with it and whatnot.
yep.
All I can say is this, and I'm going to tell you the rant that we went on when we initially did the third episode of the Pop Culture Cafe.
Yeah, it was viewer discretion advised. It was
Yeah, now eventually we're going to release this shoot.
yep.
Okay, eventually when I can find a way to get it uploaded. So we're gonna eventually release it
Yes.
because I feel that the people in this town should really sit up and watch people that they try their best to run over. Watch the people that you say that are not good enough. Now, let me just clear this up. My film, Discarded, was not in any way, to me, Citizen Kane. Okay?
Yeah.
But I can tell you this much about the film is that it met the criteria of what is expected in a film.
Right.
It had a engaging character. It had an engaging story.
Yeah. It was very well
although
shot.
Tragic.
Yeah.
But this was to call out, call out people that suffer from narcissistic personality disorder.
Yeah. And I think
mental illness.
Yeah, I think we go back to that when it comes to Discarded. I think that, we've talked about this a couple times. I think somebody, but the lady said she never watched it. But then again, it's like, okay, they never watched it. Then why was it not put in? It made sense to when we talked about it hit a nerve with somebody.
I think it did.
Yeah.
I think it hit a nerve with a certain person or certain people.
Yep.
Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
And they had to keep it out because therefore it would have been called exposure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That to me makes the most sense. It hit a nerve with somebody and they came up with some bullshit idea. Oh, let's just send a mass email. This is why you didn't get accepted. It's like, put it out there. Instead of the norm, what I call it, with how many trailers we seen that night. It's like, put it in there. It's like, put it in the festival. It's like, you never got your money back too, did you?
No. I never got my money back. Okay.
Yeah.
I never got my money back because you should have been refunded. If no one watched it,
yeah,
then I felt that the money should have been refunded. But you know what? It was $40-$50. I'll get that back tenfold. So I'm not tripping out over that. I'm just tripping out over the fact that we're sitting at the table and this lady comes. So the manager that manages over the team of the team of five, over the 5 teams of judges. Well, for me, I'm just like, okay, so if you have closed the judging and you made the final decisions on it,
Yeah.
how is it that you can send me back an email, okay, almost a week after,
Yep.
to say that it wasn't accepted?
Yeah.
I mean, I just find that very, very suspect.
Yeah. They were very late. They didn't watch it. It just, you know, I don't know why they wouldn't watch it, but
Hey, I don't think, not only did they not watch it, but I also noticed something else. Now, I'm not going to name drop or anything like that, but a certain person was, parading around one of two black people that were in this entire this entire event,
right.
and saying that he was on the executive board. Well, if people associated with this film festival or anything like that is watching this, please tell me, how the fuck does that work? How do you become a judge or an authority on a film festival when a whole bunch of you motherfuckers never went out to shoot a film one time?
Because
they're authorities, so I guess that's all right.
They think because they watch The Godfather, they're experts. It's like, no, you're not.
Oh, yeah. I watched a few films, so now I'm an expert on how films should be rated and how
Right.
films should be included in the film festival.
Right.
I for one, have gone over in my mind since this happened, and it just never even made sense to me. Right now, it does not make sense to me, because how is it that I could win in other countries abroad for being the best actor, best director, best short film, things like that? I've gotten a dozen, if not more, of these accolades, and I got trophies in the other room to back it up. I got certificates all over the wall, and so many, in fact, that I cannot fit any more on my wall.
Right.
And this is not an exaggeration. This is a 100% fucking shoot.
Yeah.
And then what I wanted to do, and I disclosed this to you, I've disclosed this to Mary, who you met yesterday, and stuff like that. I said that if I could win and get accepted here at home, here where I live, then that would give me enough street credit for business purposes. Nothing else. Business purposes. So here I am rolling this all around in my mind, and I'm feeling like, man, Will, you shouldn't speak up on this. Maybe you should, maybe you shouldn't. And I had to roll it around in my mind before I said, well, I am going to speak up on this, because I am sick and tired of the fucking cliques in this town, period. Now, I got my ideas on why. Okay, other ideas on why this wasn't accepted here. And like you said, yeah, maybe it was because they hit a nerve with someone or hit a nerve with several people.
Right.
Because before I went back and recut this film for 5 weeks, I actually was asked a question. When I was telling certain people, I said, hey, I'm going to go back and cut Discarded. Why are you going to cut it? I said, because I don't want any excuses on why this film would not get accepted at this film festival. Okay? So I spent 5 weeks staying up nights into the morning, okay, and losing sleep to get this thing done, and then, beat the deadline, enter it, didn't hear anything, and then show up at that gala and only to discover that the judging was closed. And then I get this mass email saying, "Oh, we wish we could accept all films." You know what? I'm going to say it right now, just like I said it on that shoot. That was 100% bullshit.
Yep.
It was bullshit, and they knew it was bullshit. And let me just say this. I guess, just like I said on the other shoot, I guess the reasons why is because, man, you know what? Let me ask you guys this out there watching. And if anybody from this organization is watching, I want them to really, really put their ear in close on this, because I don't want any misunderstanding on what I'm about to say. I want to know if you guys have met your quota, or you met your quota on how many films by people that look like me, African American, Black, whatever you want to call it, how many films are submitted and watched? Because I only see maybe one out of a, out of a dozen, maybe. But I guess it's all about image. So maybe the image that I presented and discarded was a little too strong. So I guess that is what booted it out. Now I'm being very nice about this.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is true.
I'm being very nice about this, and I'm trying my best out of this situation to be as professional as I possibly can. But we all know in the city of Dubuque, and I have friends, I have acquaintances that have actually said that this fucking place is way too cliquish. Okay, so basically I was told yesterday that it was time for the changing of the guard, that the old guard had to get out.
Sorry, I had a message. Like, every time there's something busy, people always have to get a hold of me. I don't know why.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
go on, man.
I was told yesterday that it has to be a changing of the guard.
Yes.
That the old guard has to leave and something new has to come out of this, because
that's come right out of the woodwork.
People that have run this thing for years and years and years and years and years. Nothing will ever change. Why do you think we always get the B team here? I mean, if you're going to attract attention to this city and you're doing something that has to do with film, and please believe me, I'm being very nice today about this.
Yeah.
Because that I was very beside myself, because I was just trying to wrap my mind around this.
Well, many nights of messages between both of us and just talking, and many times talked about. It's like, yeah, it's. It's a little.
If they thought, if the powers that be that thought, okay, that are part of this thing, thought that this was going to be the end of it, that it was like, oh, well, Will didn't get in the film festival, so this is going to be the end of it. Bullshit. It's not going to be the end of it. Actually, you have done nothing but fuel the fucking fire. That's what you have done.
And then, with that just fuels both of us to, go out there and, do what we can do best, flat out.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys see us out and about and stuff, which you are, this summer is going to be all summer.
Yep.
All summer, you're going to see Clint. You're going to see myself out with our equipment, filming shit. That's what you're going to see. And I don't care any longer. And I'm just dropping, I'm dropping the gauntlet here. I don't care any longer about this local film festival. When you think small, you get small results. Now, am I making an indirect dig at it? Maybe I am. See, I'll just say it like this, that I've often said, and it's like this. Maybe I wasn't made for the indies. Maybe you weren't made for the indies. We were made for fucking executive meetings and writers' rooms and made for the Hollywood motherfucking red carpet and shit like that. Not this small potatoes ass shit.
Oh, yeah.
That's what that told me. That we were made for the big time. Like John Cena had told Daniel Bryan in the ring, hey, I wasn't made for the indies. I was made for the WWE. Simple as that. Now us, I just drew the line in the sand what we were made for. Yep. And like it or don't like it, you're going to have to learn to deal with it, because we will be out on the street all summer long filming movies.
Yep.
Okay? Not like, okay, remember last night I sent you, I think I sent you a screenshot of a post that I seen.
Yeah.
Now, the lady that reposted that, she's a good friend of mine. I actually like her.
Right.
So I wasn't gonna go out because she reposted it or whatnot. Right. That's my girl Alondra. I'm not in any way upset about that. I'm just like, okay, see him, the guy that they were trying to, I guess she was like, support local filmmakers.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you think that this dude is the only one out there?
Oh, hell no.
Do you think he's the only one out there? No. There are others. And then there is Dragon Whip Entertainment.
Yep. That's where it's like, we're not going to put our face in the spotlight. We're going to make our movies be the spotlight.
That's right.
And we're not going to have any news people doing interviews with us, because we don't want that. We just want our work to show what we can do.
Right.
I'm not going to go on KWWL be like, oh, blah, blah, blah. No. This is where it's at. We're not about putting ourselves in the spotlight. We're about showing our work. That's it.
Right. And that's all we wanted to do, okay, was show the work.
Right.
Okay. We didn't want to get out, there and that we had to hog the spotlight and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. My main goal with opening this motion picture studio was to help others realize their fucking dreams.
Oh.
And realize, hey, you know what? If that person can do it, I'm going to just use this as an example.
Yep.
If Brad Pitt could become an actor, a working actor, and someone that's recognized, why can I do it?
Yeah.
So and, you got kids out there that believe that.
Yeah, and I think it's let the dreams come true, and just I'll admit there was like a couple things got me down, but it's like I'm ready. We met for a reason, and I think that reason's coming to a head, and I think it's gonna it's going to shock a lot of people, but I think the movies are going to speak for itself, you know, and they're going to be like, oh shit, maybe we should have took these guys seriously. Well, no, we do about it now. We got our own thing, you know.
Right.
It's like, we're over here, you stay over there. Just go over there, you know.
Right, because you know what? I'm not into. Okay, now I'm going back to Discarded.
Correct.
And I'm just going back to Discarded. You know, I'm just going back to Discarded due to, you know, due to the look, okay, of the film. Now, the look of the film, I've been complimented on this before about the whole look of the film. The whole look, when people have watched it initially, they had always told me that it did not look like a typical indie movie. Like, you know, the whole look of it. You know, it was sharp. You know, the images were sharp. You know, the sound was good. Things like that. So when I went back to initially recut it, I tried to make it look as close to watching what I would like to watch and deem as a Hollywood movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I like to see. So I tried my best to make this look like a movie that I would go out to see.
Right. And that's the thing you got to look at. Like, when I'm writing a script, it's like, what would I want to watch? What would I want to see? You know what I mean? And that's how, like, even just that, and make sure the movie makes sense and everything. Like, your characters are intertwined and everything's together. Like, it just has to make sense. It has to be something that people are going to want to see. And that's how I look at it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I you know, like I said, I'm, you know, I just want people to know out there that this is a mellow, okay? This is a mellow gripe, okay, that we're having right now.
Yeah.
Because had we did this live stream, okay, had we did this on Saturday,
yeah,
or last Saturday,
yeah,
mind you, that we wouldn't have been so nice about this.
No, it's yeah. Even I got a little freaking perturbed. I was like, yeah, you know, but you know what? Everybody's gonna watch. They're gonna see the shoot. They're gonna see it.
Yep.
It's gonna be out there, but oh well.
Yeah, but you know, I look at it like this. A lot of people had told me, they're like, well, Will, are you sure you want to do that? You know, you burn some bridges and whatnot. I said, I never made any here in the first place.
Yeah.
I mean, really. I mean, I'll tell you this. The people, except for one theater company, okay, when the whole thing happened, you know, with my personal situation,
Mm-hmm.
the people at the theater group, and I'm not going to name them either, but the people at the theater group, I remember reaching out to the casting person, and I said, hey, you know what? I'm relocating and stuff like that. You still got my information, you know, and stuff like that. If you need any further information, you know, on casting me in one of the next productions and stuff, let me know. I get a message back a couple of days later saying, oh, thanks for the information, Will, and stuff like that. And that was it. I'm not going to name the person,
Right.
but let's just say this. After that personal situation ended, and this is what narcissistic people do. They trash your name.
Yeah.
They trash your name. They have everybody hornswoggled into believing that you're this tyrant and shit like that when you've done nothing wrong. And this is what happened. People turned their backs on me.
Yep.
People in the arts community that I was cool with, they turned their backs on me. And I ended up having to start over. So I'm like, okay, if I got to start over, this is the way I'm going to start. I'm going to build this motion picture studio.
Yeah. And
it inspired me to do it. And I had to turn negatives into positives. Yeah. That's what I had to do.
So yeah, it's what you have to do in a scenario like that. It's just, it's never easy, but
they all said, fuck you, Will, and stuff like that. And they went on. And I still haven't worked for this theater company since, although I will drop this name. I worked for Fly By Night. I did a play called The Mountaintop in 2020. I believe it was 2020 or 2021. Did it down to Five Flags. Yeah, so what? I did not, I received something, but yeah, it was, for me, I would have did that for free.
Right.
Because it was the work. It was the work for me. It had nothing to do with money or anything like that. And, there are a lot of cool people in this town that wants to see a more diverse situation, but the main ones that run around talking about diversity this, diversity that, and things like that, that's all they're talking. They're selling wolf tickets. That's what they're doing. They're selling wolf tickets, man. They don't really believe in it. Now, a guy like you and me believe in it. A guy like, a couple of other people in this town believe in it. But for the number of people that believe in it, there are twice as many that don't. So they try to stop this progress from happening, which what they would do is, and I said this over the phone to my sister. I said, you know what? First, it was the white sheets of the KKK, and now we got people in power in business suits that are doing the same thing and practicing the same so-called laws that the KKK did. But they just do it a little bit more quietly now, a little more sneaky. So that's what you have to look for when people are in power. Now, I'm the last guy. I am the last guy, man. I come from the fucking north side of Chicago, Lincoln Park, where it was a melting pot. That's where I come from. That's where my home used to be. So, dealing with racism and some things that I've experienced being here in Dubuque, this is why some people just, turn tail and they leave Dubuque and things like that. But you know what? I'm going to put this out here right now. You're not going to get that out of me. I'm not leaving this bitch until this film studio is built right here on the grounds where racism ran wild and shit like that. And see, I was asked a question, Will, why would you want to build a studio here? I said, well, one reason, because it would throw a middle finger up at anybody that believed in that bullshit called racism. And that's how I look at it. That's my main goal of wanting to build that studio. Not only that, it is to help others realize their dream of being actors and directors and crew people that just want to work on a movie and working behind the cameras and writing in the writer's room, all of that. That's what they want. If they want that, Dragon Whip is going to be their hookup.
Yep. Yeah, that's people that they're passionate about it, and then you see come back people like me who have attempted and then get laughed at. It's like, okay, you know what? Maybe I don't fit your norm, but and I still attempted it. I was like, screw it. They didn't, these people didn't believe in me. I was gonna do it myself.
Absolutely.
But no, it's ridiculous. And I've gone back and I've thought about that, and I thought about that individual for that production company. It's like, you know what? I'm done with it. And I'm just, now that wheels are in motion here, I'm, like I said, I'm not ready to even have those people be a memory. They can, as the ICP said, fuck on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For me, it's like, I don't know, those that really believe in us, great. Thank you. We thank you very much for the support. We thank you very much for believing in us. We thank you very much for the things, the things and the advice that you guys have given us and supporting the Pop Culture Cafe. Now, those that don't, the haters and, and the organizations and shit like that, fuck y'all anyway. That's how I look at it. Fuck you motherfuckers anyway. We do not fucking care. This thing is going to happen whether you bitches like it or not. That's what's going to happen.
Yep.
Deal with it. I mean, I can't say anything else because, like I said, I'm really trying to be nice today, man.
How did Ric Flair say it? Whether you like it or you don't like it, it's the best thing going today.
Yeah. And trust me, when the name Will Martell gets out there, when the name Clint Heiberger gets out there as directors and producers and writers and things like that, this whole combustion is going to fucking change. Period. I mean, I'm talking about taking apart this so-called structure and these cliques in here in Dubuque and getting rid of that old tired bullshit.
Yep. Needs to happen.
Yeah, it needs to happen. People want something new. I mean, how many more times are you going to get somebody get somebody like Gary Busey to fucking come here?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. What? Gary Busey's been here twice?
Yeah.
Maybe something like that. I mean, no. The people want something new. You have to listen to the people. They want something new.
Nope. We'll be the new gauntlet being dropped right there, man.
Yep. And anybody don't like it? You know what? Tough shit. I mean,
couldn't have said any better.
You don't like it? Fucking tough shit.
Yeah.
That's what's up. I mean, and we had to do this live stream today because there was a lot Clint had to get off his chest, which he did. There was a lot I had to get off my chest, which I did. I mean, we did last week, but I kind of felt since I couldn't upload that shoot, that I was going to go with this route. And really, trust me. Huh?
Give the people watching a little preview.
Yeah, I think if I can do it a little bit at a time, I might be able to upload a clip. Yeah, I might be able to upload a clip. I'm just trying to, kind of really check it out a little bit. But I might be able to upload a clip.
Sounds good, man. Yeah, let's love to see it. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
It just the old nostalgia. wow, this was an amazing shoot.
Yeah, yeah. I just feel like that. We're kind of ice skating uphill, and like I said, other people would just turn around and run. But you got a couple of guys here that believe in film. They believe in expressing themselves in an artistic way.
Yep.
Okay. Now, was I upset? Was I pissed off when I actually seen a friend of mine, post this guy, support local filmmakers.
Right.
Well, yeah. Okay, I'm going to say that right now because I think that you and I are not living off of, what we did, and stuff like that. Hey, as far as I know, this cat's made what, one film?
Yeah. Flat out.
Okay. This cat made one film. And because he was written up in what was that? The New Yorker, Wall Street Journal, whatever the fuck.
I think so.
I don't know. I don't know what he was written up in, but I'll tell you like this. While this person was thinking about doing film or movies and stuff, you know what? I was already doing movies on film sets and stuff like that, and being at Tyler Perry Studios and saying, hey, this is what the fuck I want to do with my life and stuff like that after being there and spending some time down there. Yeah, it's what I want. And you know what? By hook or by crook, it's going to be right here in Dubuque. And anybody that don't like it, you ain't fucking stopping me. Period. Period.
It's happening. The change is coming.
Yep. And change is what this town needs. What was that Jack Nicholson said in Batman? Every town needs an enema. Okay. Or as Terry Funk said it, every town needs an enema. I'm your enema, Ric Flair.
Good old Terry Funk.
Yeah, if Terry Funker is watching this, man, we hope you're well, man.
Yep.
We hope you're well, man. For real.
You're a legend.
I had to say that. Yeah, every town needs an enema. Yeah, so really, man, I didn't want to take any, I just wanted it to get out there because I couldn't upload the video.
Right.
And eventually I will. But I just want the powers that be in Dubuque that may be watching this, and I know they're going to be watching this. So
I'm counting on it,
Yeah, I'm counting on it. I want you to watch it.
Yep.
Because I don't want any misunderstanding when I say to hell with circumstances, you create your own opportunities.
Yep.
And if you people are not going to give opportunities to obviously talented people, and you would rather go on that other side and give other people opportunities, hey, you do your thing. But the whole fucking structure that may be full of closet racists and shit, full of people that don't believe in a kaleidoscope sort of setting in in the film world here. Well, fuck you, we're doing it anyway. I fucking said it. Fuck you guys, we're doing it anyway. You don't mean anything to us in terms of if you're going to stop us from progressing and going forward. So
I feel
Fuck
better.
you, we're gonna do what we on anyway.
I feel better it's out there, It's like, hey, Do they think I forgot? Who knows? I haven't forgot. But like I said, as of now, it's out there. They're not even a memory. We're doing it.
Yep. And you know what? We're gonna live stream again and shit like that.
Oh, yeah.
I just wanted everybody out there to know that if they think, we had an axe to grind, yes, we did. Okay. Yes, we did. We had a huge axe to grind.
Mm-hmm.
So, for me, I think that I've pretty much drawn the line in the sand. Clint's drawn the line in the sand. And hey, you're not going to stop guys or women out there from achieving their dream. And if I could help in any way with that, you know what? Then you guys hit us up, because there's gonna be a poster that comes out later in what we are looking for and what we're going to be casting for. So
Awesome.
For any of you out there that want an opportunity, you hit us up. Okay, you can hit Clint up or you can hit myself up, and all of the information will be there. You can hit us up through Messenger. You can hit us up, on Facebook. You can hit us up. I mean, you know what? We're easy to find. So you guys just be aware that this stuff is going to be coming out really, really soon. I mean, within a day or so, I'm going to have that casting call post up.
Awesome.
So, yeah. So people could contact us and we can get prepared to go into shooting this summer, because 2 movies are going to be shot this summer. Okay. 2 shorts are going to be shot this summer. And I will tell you right now that, we would not even enter anything here, man. I don't want my company associated with this shit anymore, man. I wanted to try to get along and shit like that.
And do like a collaboration or whatever. And
yeah, I don't want
exist on the same planet.
I don't want anything to do with them. The only thing I want to do at this point now is start looking for the Master P's. Right. I want to start looking for the Dame Dashes and stuff like that will help drive this thing along, because those guys, man, it's all about ownership. Own your shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's what those guys. I got to give you that book by Master P, man.
Yeah, I'll try to remember.
He wrote a book about ownership. You got to own your stuff. So, like I've been saying, we're gonna try our best to get real celebrities here, man. Mm-hmm. I'm not talking people that were relevant 20 years ago or 30 years ago. I'm talking about current people.
Yep.
And
it's only going to get better.
Yeah, it's going to be a grind, but hey, we're going to fucking do it, man.
Yeah.
We're going to fucking do it. We are going to fucking do it. So, all right. So I hate, I really just, hate to even do this, but you know what? We had to get it off our chest. We had to make sure people heard it.
Uh-huh.
And like I said before, we've been very nice about it, because when you hear the shoot, when it's finally uploaded, you're going to be like, God damn it.
Yeah. Yeah. Parental discretion is advised on this one, trust me.
Yeah, absolutely. What you got here was a PG version. Yeah. What you got was a PG version here. So All right, man. You know
All
what?
right.
Clint, any closing thoughts, bro?
No, man. Just keep shooting for the dreams. We got each other's backs. All I know is I'm just off to finish up my laundry and get ready for the week. And yeah, I'll try to finish that clip and then I don't know. Yeah, just kind of do my typical Sunday. Getting everything ready for the work week and
Getting ready for work. Man, thanks for taking the time out, Clint, dog.
Oh, no problem,
I really
man.
wanted to get
Anytime.
this out there in the street and where
Anytime.
we stood on stuff and get it out to folks.
Yeah.
That this is what it is, and this is where we're going. And if anybody don't like it, fuck them.
Exactly. But yeah, man, awesome. I know we'll probably more likely talk during the week anyway. So
Absolutely. You know what's up.
Exactly.
All right, man. I'm gonna have that casting call thing out probably later on tonight or tomorrow.
Okay. All right, man. I'm gonna sign out. And,
all right,
everybody,
man.
That's how we do it.
Peace, brother.
Please.
Peace. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you have just tuned in to the Pop Culture Cafe live stream. So, my ending thoughts is this. Every day above ground is a good day, but never stop going after your dreams. Never stop going after what makes you happy and what you want to do with your life. Deuces.